Have you ever stopped to think about how certain absences accompany us throughout our lives? A void that appears in the most unexpected moments, in the hug that is missing, in the advice that doesn't come, in the presence that never arrived. These scars, invisible to the eyes but so present in the heart, can mark us deeply. Today, I want to invite you to explore this silent universe with me and understand the marks left by an absent father. To understand the dimension of these wounds, we need to carefully consider the context of so many people who have lived and still live this reality. Paternal absence is an issue that crosses generations and cultures, silently marking the trajectory of millions of people around the world. According to international research on family structure, more than 5.5 million children live without the father's name in their registration documents. But these numbers are only the surface of something much deeper: the invisible and often painful influence that paternal absence exerts throughout a person's life. When we grow up without a father figure, small day-to-day situations carry extra weight. The lack of that approving look during a school presentation, the silence on special dates, or even the embarrassment of answering questions about family, all reinforce a sense of something essential being missing. It doesn't matter if the absence is due to distance, abandonment, separation, or even death. The marks left are real and personal. We are taught to move on, to pretend it doesn't hurt, but time does not erase what wasn't lived. The impact of these scars goes beyond childhood, shaping our self-esteem, influencing our relationships, and even the fundamental choices in life. My promise today is that we will navigate these layers of paternal absence together without judgment, recognizing the pains, but also pointing out paths to transformation. Here, I'll show you how this absence affects identity construction from childhood through adolescence and into adulthood, presenting ways to transform this silent pain into strength and learning. If you have ever felt this void or know someone who carries this story, this is your space. Stay with me until the end and discover that it's possible to look at these invisible scars more lightly, preparing for a new beginning. In childhood, every detail seems more intense. Paternal absence invades school events where the difference is clearly visible. The seat in the audience always empty, the Father's Day gift made by small hands but given to teachers or uncles. It's that strange feeling of not belonging when asked, "Where's your dad?" And there isn't an easy answer. The silence of this absence becomes a daily companion. In games played alone, in pride never shared, in the expectation of phone calls or visits that do not happen. Even without words, children deeply feel when someone so fundamental is missing. Thus, absence isn't just physical. It becomes part of what the child believes they deserve or don't deserve from the world. Psychologists say it's during this period that feelings of insecurity and doubts about one's value begin to emerge. The child starts to understand the world through its lack, and everything that follows carries a bit of that void. As years pass, this impact from early experiences evolves. When adolescence arrives, this absence gains new nuances and challenges. In adolescence, the void left by an absent father mixes with the intense search for identity. It is a time of extreme vulnerability where new questions and insecurities arise. Many young people start looking for male references elsewhere: teachers, older friends, relatives. They don't always find the support or example they truly need. Doubts about identity deepen. Attempts to fit in, to impress, to find in others what a paternal presence should provide, security, direction, belonging, arise. Some choices during this phase are made more from a desire to be accepted rather than out of will. Amidst all of this, the sense of abandonment and the fear of repeating the same cycle in the future linger. This stage in life is often marked by internal conflicts and even self-sabotaging behaviors, as if there is an unconscious need to prove or hide that the absence doesn't hurt. When adulthood comes, the scars of absence reveal their true depth. They manifest surprisingly, influencing relationships, choices, and even dreams. As adults, many realize the weight of the scars formed by paternal absence. Difficulties in establishing and maintaining healthy relationships, fear of abandonment, insecurity when faced with important decisions, all these can be traced back to that lack of reference and affection from the past. For some, there is the fear of repeating the same mistakes, failing as parents. For others, There is a feeling of not deserving love or success, as if the void of the past dictates the possibilities of the present. These are silent patterns of self-sabotage and constant doubts that limit dreams and perspectives. However, it is also in adulthood that the possibility of transformation becomes real. With support, self-awareness, and the will to break cycles, it is possible to build new references based on responsibility, self-care, and the pursuit of healthier relationships. Recognizing and accepting invisible scars is the first step to reframing history and taking ownership of one's destiny. It is in the most unexpected moment that absence presents itself with greater intensity. Imagine someone already an adult, standing before the mirror in complete silence. A memory emerges. The childish desire to receive a simple, "I'm proud of you," something that never came. The emotion takes over. The tears speak not only of the child's pain but of the adult who still carries that lack. In this instant of vulnerability, a turning point arises. The person realizes they spent life waiting for something external, but for the first time decides to look inward with compassion. They acknowledge their own scars, accept that the father may never return, and understand that this doesn't have to be a burden anymore. I have always sought that embrace, that recognition, but now I understand I can embrace myself. I can be the adult I needed. This decision marks the beginning of a new stage. The pain doesn't completely disappear, but it transforms into strength, wisdom, and the will to build something different for oneself and others. And it is in this discovery that the true potential for change resides. Now it remains to understand how to turn this comprehension into a path, hope, and action. Looking back, we realize that the invisible scars left by the absence of a father cannot be erased, but they can be understood and transformed. Recognizing this pain is an act of courage and the first step towards healing. Every story marked by abandonment can be redefined through self-awareness, mutual support, and the desire to break cycles. You are not alone on this journey. Overcoming begins when we take ownership of our life story and seek in ourselves the care and affection that we're missing. Turning pain into learning is possible, and your journey can inspire others to follow the same path. If this video spoke to you, share your story in the comments. Tag someone who needs to hear these words. Subscribe to the channel for more content on overcoming and emotional healing. Together, we can give a voice to those who carry invisible scars and help more people see their own strength.